Witness the bouncing brood of bunnies that keeps the volunteers hopping at the PetSave Foundation's Rabbit Rescue Facility. And relish the bounty of marine life that awaits us as we embark on an epic voyage in search of blue whales and humpbacks on this edition of Out and About.
Tag is Mr. Gregarious, and all of the bunnies have wonderful personalities, but there's some in here that all the volunteers kind of gravitate towards, and he's so outgoing and he demands to get out and run around, and we let him do that because he is extremely friendly and he loves to just go visit all the other bunnies, and he rubs their chin on their wren saying that you belong to me, and then he goes to the next one. He's just kind of a flirt, and he's fun to watch, and I make a great pet if somebody wants to adopt him.
A rabbit with a sense of humor, no doubt.
Definitely, and he does just funny rabbity things, and people that haven't had rabbits in the past, if they spend a little time here, they'll see that they really have a lot of personality. They'll see how distinctive one personality can be from another and start to appreciate the subtle differences and the not so subtle differences, which would be Tag.
Hundreds of happy hares hip-hop their way in and about their modest home as part of the PetSave Foundation's Rabbit 911 project. The nonprofit program seeks to adopt out these playful pets while educating the public on responsible rabbit care.
All of these rabbits are rescued rabbits. Most of them came from a big raid from a neglect case that the SPCA was made aware of. They went to a home in Mar Vista and confiscated 356 rabbits. My little group helped them. We were helping them take care of them for several months, and at some point we signed on for them and leased the building so that we could start the process of getting them adopted into good homes. And they're all spay or neutered first, and they're healthy, and we do like public education before anybody gets a rabbit from us. We make sure they know how to take care of it.
I imagine that is a priority and very important to let people know about rabbits. Tell us a little bit about bunnies and why they would make a good pet.
Well, they would make a good pet under certain circumstances. Number one is they need to be fixed. The reason a lot of rabbits get abandoned is because they have behavioral issues. If they're not fixed, they'll do spraying, they're territorial. If you get them spay or neutered, they are much calmer pets. They use a litter box, which neater. They're happier just to sit and be snuggling with you. And there's also some health reasons why. And for the females, they have a uterine cancer rate at 80 to 90% by age 5 if they're not spayed, which is why a lot of people come to us expecting that a rabbit's going to live 3 to 5 years, because most females that they've had in the past have died around that time from uterine cancer.
So there are many reasons to neuter these bunnies, and they just seem to mellow out after that happens. Is that right?
Yes, they're neater and sweeter. That's how I like to put it.
There are so many bunnies here, I imagine between 200 and 250, is that right?
Just about, it's about right around in there. The number changes when they get adopted.
What was it like for you personally when you suddenly were in possession of a couple of hundred rabbits or so? What did you plan to do at that moment?
I would say it was an easy decision, but a difficult task. And I knew it going into it, but I had a lot of great volunteers. we were a small group, but we wanted to get these bunnies homes, and we knew when we took this project on that we're basically stepping in it, and we did it willingly and knowingly. But I signed on for about 400 at one time. And so we're just, since then whittling away at getting them adopted. But it's been a really difficult thing to do because we don't just give them to anybody that comes by. We have to make sure that they go to good homes because we all want to sleep at night knowing that we didn't put that rabbit from a bad place to like another bad place.
With their legendary reputation to multiply, it doesn't take a mathematician to understand the importance of spaying and neutering these playful pets. Countless generations of activity has yielded a rich array of rabbit breeds, many of which are represented in the Foundation's current population.
We have a Goody's here, which is a brown color that is the most likely to be confused with the wild rabbit, but it's not. It's the same color that a cottontail is. We have New Zealand whites, which are typically the big Easter bunnies, and the white ones you can get for $7 or $8 at stores that should not be selling them. And they get much bigger than the staff will tell you they are. We have Harlequins. We have a couple that are sort of lop mixes that can't decide if they're going to be a lop or not, so the ears are sort of halfway. We have Rexes, which is a special kind of rabbit with super soft fur that I guess a monk in the 17th century bred the guard hairs out of rabbits. So they have exceptionally plush fur, every shape, size, and color.
Particularly those small little baby bunnies are very cute. At what age are they adoptable?
We don't adopt rabbits until they're fixed. So that would be 3.5 months for boys and 4.5 to 5 months for girls.
How does one adopt a bunny?
Well, there's a couple of ways of doing an application. If they find us on the internet, they can do an online application, and I read it over and call them and talk to them about housing. I can kind of get a sense of if they're open to learning the new information we have about bunny care, because there's a lot of antiquated knowledge out there that's basically harmful to rabbits. Or if they find us some other way and they want to come here and do an application, they can handwrite one. And we do the same screening process.
This is a shelter that you've leased out for the remainder of this year. What happens with these bunnies after that?
Well, we could get kind of upset about it, but what we're doing is focusing on the positive and just gearing up more and more attention towards getting them adopted. So that's what I do full-time, and I have a new volunteer that's doing this full-time, not to mention the volunteers that come here weekly and clean. And we do everything we can to get the word out. So we're just counting on the fact that with all this hard work and a little luck, we'll get them all homes before we have to be out of the building.
Aside from the monumental task of finding homes for these wayward bunnies, one of the PetSave Foundation's biggest hurdles lies in dealing with a public that is ill-informed on their special needs and the care and commitment that they are entitled to receive. What are some of the major mistakes that people make in regards to rabbits?
First of all, buying them from a pet shop is not a good idea. Getting them from a rescue group means they've been fixed already. People have been told by a pet shop that they're both males or both females, and then the one they named Bill has babies. Oh. Secondly, they don't know that they need to give rabbits hay. They need oat or oat barley or timothy or a grass hay. And it is the one thing that will keep their digestive system mobile and moving and keep them healthy for 8 to 12 years rather than a very short lifespan without hay. Of course, spaying and neutering, I get tired of hearing myself say that, but I can't say that enough. It's a health issue for both genders, especially the females. And get your bunny fixed and adopt a friend for it, because it is very sad existence for them to live alone. And they make great house pets if they're fixed, and they can use a litter box, and there's information out there on how to get them to use a litter box. It's a much better relationship with your bunny. And I would say if you feed your bunny rabbit pellets, get the highest fiber content you can get, and fresh water at all times too. Make sure that water bottle or crock is clean and full of water.
Now comes Easter time. I think you have some advice for people about rabbits versus Easter.
A lot of rabbits are bought as impulse buys at Easter, And no living creature should be bought on impulse. Before you have a rabbit in your life, you should do the research and find out what you need to do to take care of them properly, find out what kind of rabbit might be best for you, and adopt from PetSave Foundation or any one of the many rabbit groups in the area where you live. And just in the Southern California area, I would estimate the rescue groups for rabbits, and we're talking just like Pasadena to Palos Verdes. At any one time, we have well over 1,000 rescued rabbits that are spay or neutered and ready for adoption. And we are trying desperately to keep up with the pace, the ones that are abandoned at shelters, and we can't do that. A lot of them are put down. So get one from a shelter, get one from a rescue group, but don't buy them because it's a really vicious cycle of neglect and then abandonment for a lot of rabbits.
To find out more about these playful bunnies, or for information on responsible rabbit care, contact the PetSave Foundation, located in Torrance, California. When we return, we'll hit the high seas in search of the largest creatures on Earth. Stay with us as we embark on an epic whale watch to glimpse blue whales and humpbacks as Out and About continues.